All right, so we got our new tires mounted for the H here. We're gonna take the caps off, check the bearings, and make sure everything's good there. All right, there is a washer there too. So we'll keep these together and drop them in the cap down here. At this point, I'd settle for just breaking it off, I think, and there we go. All right, so now we gotta find a socket for that nut. And I didn't mean to do that. Well, we'll have to clean that off now. There we go. Okay, as with everything on this project, you take one step forward and two back. So there's the first wheel bearing that came out. It actually didn't look bad when I first took it out. There's the inner one, and they both had slop side to side. Started playing with this one and it just came apart. So we're gonna have to get wheel bearings for the front, and there's a seal here. I'll look all that stuff up and get it ordered. There's the shaft. A little bit of rust there on the inside. Overall, it doesn't look too bad. So I think we'll be okay there. But before I can bother to put, I had that tire mounted and was gonna do this one too. Obviously mount that and check the wheel bearings. I'm just gonna order everything new for the front. I'm not even gonna bother with that right now because just have to take it all apart anyhow. So that'll be it for this clip until we get some parts. Okay, so now we're gonna work on this PTO shaft seal. I broke loose these two bolts here already. They came loose super easy. Hang on one second here. Now I do have the oil is already drained out of the rear transaxle and transmission. I'm gonna show that in a separate video with the full maintenance of the tractor. So if you're interested in seeing how to drain that and what it looked like, watch for that video. But I have a new gasket here for this plate, and I have a new seal that goes in here. I know the lighting isn't great, doing the best I can here, but we'll just start with the old, oh, there she goes. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, so here is our seal, and then here is our, I saw it here somewhere, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Here's our old gasket. Like I said, we have a brand new one of those to go on and a new seal to go in. So let's get this old seal out, and we'll get the new one fit in there. Okay, so I got this out. I just had a socket here and basically pounded through and popped this out. This is a very interesting looking seal. It's very thick, and when you look inside of it, you guys might not be able to see, but it almost looks like a double seal. At first I was thinking there was two in there. Okay, well, it's been quite a few days since the last clip. So I left off with, excuse me, I got a cold now. This was the PTO seal that we took out. This was the one that was sent to me based on, what it was supposed to replace. And so I did a bunch of checking, talked with quite a few people, and this is the seal that they now make that replaces this big thick one. So what I've been told is guys will actually double stack these in the housing so that it still isn't quite as wide as that double stacked, but it gives you kind of a little extra layer of protection. So I feel more comfortable doing that. So I called my local Napa with this part number, and they were able to cross it over to these guys, which are the exact same thing. They have the exact same number on them, look identical. And the interesting part was that these were like 12 bucks a piece, and that was, I think, 24. So I ended up buying 2 of them, so we have 3 all together now, just in case I mangled one up putting it in. All right, so I cleaned up the housing real good, got all the grease and gunk and stuff off. Got my first seal here. You know, here was the socket we used. It would be nice to shove these in from the back. I don't know if it matters or not, but if I shove them in from the back, this is the surface I'm trying to pound on. So if I shove it down in from the front, then I have this big flat surface. So for better or worse, whether you're supposed to do it this way or not, we're gonna try shoving this in. Of course, the thing just went crooked on me, so that was fun. There we go. All right, so if I'm messing this up, tell me in the comments below. Okay, I think we got them both in there as best we can. Driven tight up against each other. Looks like we have a pretty even reveal around the outside here, so I guess it's ready to go back on the tractor. All right. So we got our new gasket here. I thought about putting some gasket sealing material on the gasket, and I probably could have, should have, but I thought there's a small chance that I might have to take this apart again, and if that was the case, I guess I should have cleaned that PTO shaft up a little better. Darn it. Too late now. Anyway, I don't know that the gaskets are very reusable when you put the gasket sealing material on them. And, you know, if I had a problem with this and had to take it back apart, you know, like a leak on these seals or something, sort of immediately here after I get everything back together and fire the tractor up, where the gasket hasn't been on there very long, there's a good chance I'd be able to reuse it. So that's why I opted not to put the gasket sealer on there. I have no idea any kind of torque spec here, so we're just going side to side and we're gonna snug it. All right, I'd say they're pretty even. All right, well, we'll see if that is a success or not after we get oil back in the tractor. If I screwed that up. One thing I should have done that I didn't was I should have cleaned this PTO shaft up better. I didn't even think about it. I was thinking all the mating surfaces, and I'm hoping that when I slid this over, you know, there's some paint and junk on here. I'm hoping we didn't pick up anything and shove it in one of the seals on the way in. So keep that in mind for you amateurs like me to make sure if you do this to clean up that PTO shaft good before you slide your seals over it. All right, so we have this PTO shield that I'd like to put on. To go on here, let's see, how do we finagle that? There we go, just like that. There is the top bolt done, and then I'll show you. There you can see that one, and then that one you can't really see because it's up underneath there. Oh, there you go. So there we have it. PTO shield cover on. All right, welcome back. It's been quite a few weeks since I took the other side of the tractor apart. The front end, that's still apart. I'm working on this side right at the moment here. We have a new felt seal here. There is a retainer ring for that felt seal Oh, here it is. There's the new retainer ring for that. That fits into there. So we've got that. The bearings on this side, I did order a bearing kit and everything. That's where I got the new felt and the new seal from. Here's the 2 new bearings that go in there. I have a new seal here that goes in here. Problem with this seal, as a lot of these stupid aftermarket parts, and I shouldn't even complain about aftermarket, even the CNH replacement parts, this is about half the thickness of the one that came out of there. So basically when you go to put it in here, you know, the bearing's going to come up to here, and then this basically needs to be here. Well, I know this is difficult, but that leaves a gap. So there basically is going to be a gap between the felt and the seal, and that doesn't make much sense to me. Why they keep shrinking these things to half the thickness of the originals. You have the real estate here to do it. Obviously it'll be more expensive, but how is that going to work now? You know, we did the PTO seal, and I ended up shoving 2 of these, or it wasn't this exact one, but it looked like this, in there to take up the space to, you know, kind of mimic the old one that came out. So I have the same situation here now that, you know, this is half the thickness, and I just don't know how it's going to end up. I mean, it'll seal for the bearing, but it seems like a bunch of dirt can get between the felt and this seal. So it just seems kind of dumb. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, but I don't understand it. So anyway, enough complaining. I got all my parts cleaned up. Here's the cap. I got this cleaned up in here pretty good on both sides. So what we need to do now is, still fighting my cold, take these 2 bearings, this one, and we need to get them greased up so we can start putting stuff back together. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with doubling the felt washer here. I think that's going to be the best approach, rather than, here's the old one, I cleaned it up. We'll put that one on first, then we'll put the new one on second, and then that'll take up the space. I'm going to use the Napa seal. It was made in Mexico. Plus it has a much bigger rubber actual seal part on it. So we're going to have to put it on with this side facing out, because it says press from this side. So it's going to have to go like this. And it should be lots of fun to get on there. I have a high-tech seal tool here I'm going to use. Piece of Schedule 40 pipe. If this makes you cringe, look the other way, because I'm doing it. Nothing's ever easy. All right. We got our hub. I got grease in the hub already. We got grease in the bearing. Okay. Well, I don't know how much of the reassembly of that you saw, because the camera was acting up. I thought it was turned off, and I looked at it and the light was blinking, but it wasn't counting down any time. I don't know what the heck was going on. So I'm not sure how much of that you saw. Right now what we're gonna do is see about getting this thing jacked up and getting the tire back on. Let's see here, we gotta rotate this guy around. There we go. Is that more what we're looking for? That is more of what we need right there. Now, one fun fact I've noticed with this tractor is that one of these bolts is a coarse thread and the other ones are fine thread. So I have to be careful which nut goes where. All right, fun times. So I got kind of confused here. I don't know if you can see this one little clamp here now. It has a side that's not painted on it. I had to double check to make sure I was putting these little clamps on the right way. Somebody must have had this one on backwards when the tractor was painted. So that confused me for a second. Anyway, and this bolt here barely reaches. So I may want to see about getting a new one of those, a little bit longer. But so tightening this down here, the nut here, in the book it says to go until it's kind of just binding and then back it off to the nearest hole that's there. So that's what we're gonna do. Right now it's binding a little bit there. You can kind of see the wheel coming to a stop. So we're just gonna back off here to, I think it'd be about there. That seems to be pretty good. Yep, I think we're gonna go with that. Now I gotta find a cotter pin that fits in there. Yep, that one there will work. And we'll just cut it down to size. It doesn't need to be that long. And then there is a bolt here that goes through the nut. We got a lock washer that goes on there and some fuzzies from the towel. So we'll put this guy on here and tighten that down. Now I already cleaned up the surface here, so we're ready to go there. So I just got to find my gasket a second. All right, there we have it. Everything's all cleaned up, re-greased, new seals, bearings are good to go. So I'm gonna put the other side back together. I won't bore you with that. All right, we got both front tires back on. So stay tuned, everybody. We've got some brake work coming up in the next video. We've got super rusty brakes on this side. You can see the pile on the floor. And on the other side, we have a leaky oil seal. So stay tuned for that video. That's going to be coming up, a whole video in itself. This video here with the PTO seal and the front wheel bearings, I have over an hour of footage that I'm going to try and condense down to a manageable size. So hopefully I can accomplish that and you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. I sure do appreciate it. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe, the thumbs up, and the bell icon on your way out the door. And I sure hope to see everybody on the next video. Thanks again for watching.